Fine. Good morning to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Students, are you studying daily portion? So are you revising daily portion or not? So please study daily portions, okay? So we have completed till chapter 7. So now we are studying chapter 8. So within this week, I will complete this chapter 8 also. Next we can study about chapter 2. In between, chapter 2 is there. So now we can study chapter 8. After completion of within this week, I will complete. After that, we can study about chapter 2. Okay. So please study daily portion. So welcome to our today's online class students. So now we are studying about chapter 8. So what's the title of our chapter? Iteration and recursion. Isn't it? So what's the title? Iteration and recursion. So we have studied about iteration as well as recursion. So what do you mean by iteration? The same process repeated again and again. Sometimes in a problem, we need to repeat the same process again and again. So that process we are calling as an what? Iteration. Isn't it? So that process we are calling as an what? Iteration. Okay. So last class we have studied about, so what's the format for iteration or specification? So when the problem needs to, we can say when the problem becomes iterated or iteration. So last class we have studied in a loop, if we say the problem becomes iterated means there are 4 conditions are there. So I will study that 4 points. Have you studied that 4 points? Are you remembering? If we say the loop is invariant means the loop is invariant at 4 points. So what are the 4 points? The loop becomes invariant at start of the loop, then start of each iteration, then end of the loop, as well as end of each iteration. Isn't it you have studied or not? Study. So likewise, so if we need to say the particular loop becomes invariant means the loop should true becomes in 4 points. Always the loop becomes true in start of the loop as well as start of the iteration, then end of the loop as well as end of the iteration. Okay. So today we are going to study about some invariance examples. What do you mean by invariance? What do you mean by invariance? So if you are going to solve some problem, so we are making some changes by giving assignments. So before assigning also you are getting the same value. After the assigning also assignment some values also you are getting the same value. At that time we are calling that problem is an invariant. Isn't it? So last class we have studied detailed about invariant and some examples. Okay. So today we are going to study some invariance examples. Okay, what we are going to study? Invariant examples. Okay. So listen, first example is, so first example, read the question. What's the question they have given? Design an iterative algorithm to compute a power n, not a n. Okay, this is a power n. Don't confuse n. Okay, a power n. Okay. So what's the question? You are going to compute an algorithm a power n. Understand? So what's the first step? You need to name the algorithm. Okay. So the name of the algorithm they have given is power. Power of, what's the format? In specification already you have studied. What's the format? Specification algorithm. First you should name the algorithm. Then you should give the inputs. How many variables we are giving us inputs, that variables you need to mention inside the bracket, isn't it? So here to compute this power of a power n, you are naming the algorithm as power of a comma n. Understand? So what are the things you are giving? The first thing is you need to name the algorithm. What's the name of the algorithm? Power of a comma n. So listen, for that some examples they are given. Power of 10 comma 4. So a power n. So what's the value of a here? 10. So what's the value of n here? 4. So a power n. So 10 power 4. So what's the answer 10 power 4? 10,000. Likewise, next, power of 5 comma 3. So what's the meaning? 5 power 3. So 5 into 5 into 5, 3 times. So value is 125. Next thing, power of 2 comma 5. So what's the meaning 2 comma 5? 2 power 5. So 5 times you need to multiply 2. The answer you are getting is 32. This is the normal step. You know this is the way you are going to calculate the power of two numbers, a power n. In maths and all you have studied, isn't it? So now we are going to write a specification algorithm for computing this power. Okay. So what you are going to write? You are going to write a specification algorithm to compute this power. Understand? So listen. First, how we are getting this answer. That means 2 power 5 means 5 times you are multiplying 2, isn't it? So that one you need to write in a formula ways. Okay. So they have written first power of a comma n. How you are going to compute? What's the process for computing a power n? So you need to multiply a into how many times? N times. That means a, the value of a is 2 and value of n is 5 means you need to multiply the 2 with 5 times. So that is they are given. You need to multiply cumulative n times. Cumulative means number of times. How many number of times? That means n, what number they have mentioned in the value of n, that number of times you need to multiply the value of a. Understand? So what's the formula? This is not an, a power n. Okay. So a power n means how you need to calculate? So a till n times. That only they have given till n times. Understand? So a power 5 means a should multiply 5 times. A power 3 means a should be multiplied 3 times. So how many number of times they have specified the value of n, that much of times you need to multiply the value of a. This is the normal working process for power a power n. Next, you are going to write a specification algorithm. Okay, specification algorithm using loop invariant. Okay, what's the format for writing specification algorithm? First you should name the algorithm. Then you should mention the inputs as well as outputs. Then property of the input-output relation. Understand? Next, you are going to write a loop invariant using this specification algorithm. Understand? So already you have mentioned. So what's the name of the algorithm? Power. What are the inputs you are given? A comma n. Okay, a comma n. So listen, first step. What's the specification? First step, name of the algorithm with inputs. So power, name of the algorithm is power. How many variables you are giving as an input? 2. What are they? A and n. So a comma n. Next you need to mention the input and output properties. So what input properties? See, always the input and output you should mention in command lines. So command line starts with 2 dashes at the beginning. Okay. So inputs, what input you are giving? N is a positive integer. That means, listen, here you are giving 2 comma 5. So always the power value you will give in positive number. Whether you will give 2 comma minus 5, 2 power minus 5, whether you will give? No. Always the value of n should be a positive integer. Understand? So if the input n is a positive integer means what output you will get? P equal to a power n. This is a specification algorithm. So first you should name the algorithm. What's the name you are giving? Power of a comma n. Then input you have given. What input you are giving? So input n is a positive number and output. If n is a positive number means the output you are getting p equal to a power n. Understand? Next you are going to write the same power. You are going to calculate this power using this loop. Okay, you are going to write the loop invariant. What do you mean by loop invariant? Before the starting of the loop also the value becomes same and also at the end of the loop also the value becomes same. Understand? So here you are going to, the power is given by the variable p. Understand? The power is given by the variable p. Okay. Then the iteration means number of times. For example, 2 power 5. So how many iterations will come? 5 iterations, isn't it? So the iteration you are giving in the variable I. P is given by the for identification of the variable power and I for the identification of the variable iteration, that means number of times. Understand? Listen. So initially they have given the power is 1. The value of P is 1. Understand? Listen. In the loop, initially they are giving the value of P is 1 and the iteration before the starting of this algorithm, the iteration value is 0. This you should remember. Understand? So you are going to write this in a loop invariant to calculating power of two numbers. You are writing in a loop invariant. For that, you are declaring two variables, P for power and I for iterations. Understand? So the value of P is initially they have given us 1 and the iteration before you are going to calculate, the iteration value is 0. Understand? Next, the condition they are giving. So this iteration is not equal to n. What do you mean by n? Number of times. That means power, 2 power 5. That iteration is not equal to n. So no need to, this value of n and I is no need to equal or no need to be a same. Okay. If this condition is satisfied means you need to calculate P equal to a power I. So here you are given no a power n. The same only here they are giving P equal to a power I. Understand? So how you need to calculate means this is the formula for calculating the powers. How this step, the calculation of this power, how you are going to done in this algorithm. Yeah. Otherwise, in system, how it is calculated. How the power is computed by the system. Now we are going to study about that. So this is the formula. Okay. P comma I means P into A comma I plus 1. This one you should study. What's the formula? P comma I means P into A comma I plus 1. Understand? This is the loop invariant. So you are going to write the loop invariant inside the specification algorithm. Okay. What's the first step? First the name the algorithm. The name of the algorithm is A power and input variables A comma n. Next you are giving the input. The n should be a positive integer. So it is not be a negative integer. So if it is a positive means you will get the answer as a P equal to A power n. Next you are going to write this in iterated or loop invariant. So for that you are giving two variables P comma I. The initial value they are setting for P is 1 and the I is 0. The value I and n is not same. Okay. Always the value of I and n becomes different. So likewise means if the loop in when we can say the loop invariant P equal to A power I. So how you are calculating P comma I means P into I comma I plus 1. This you should study. Understand? So listen. Now we are going to study how this power is computed in our system. Okay. So you are going to compute the power of 2 comma 5. Okay. How you are going to compute the power? 2 comma 5. So how this power is simply if they ask 2 power 5 means you know the answer. What's the answer 2 power 5? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So 16 into 2 the answer will be a 32. That you know. But how this process is done inside the system or how the computer is calculated this power. Okay. That one now we are going to study. Okay. So first, so each iteration, so you should, what do you mean by loop invariant? So each iteration you need to check whether this is a loop invariant or not. Okay. So what do you mean by loop invariant? The starting of the loop and the ending of the loop, the value becomes same. Then only we can able to say this is a loop invariant. So we are going to check whether this problem is a loop invariant or not. Okay. So listen. So for listen this table. Okay. How you need to write this table means. So see this is the last slide. So this formula take it. Okay. Take this formula. The same you should write in the tabular column. What are the things you need to write? P, I, then P into A, comma, I plus 1. Listen. What are the things? First, this one iteration. First you can write. That's the value of I. Okay. I. So in that question, so see that in a textbook page number 104. See the last line. What are things you need to write first? P. Okay. Then I. Then P into A. Then I plus 1. Then last A power I. Okay. Understand? See, in this in this algorithm, we are giving t comma equal to p into I plus 1. So, we are going to compute the powers using this formula. So, what are things you need to write? P comma I, then p into a, I plus 1. So, at last, you are going to calculate the value of p equal to a power I. So, understand? So, listen, how you need to write this means, listen carefully. So, first, leave all the things. Okay, only you should first remember, firstly each row, first row you remember, okay, leave all the things, first you listen this first row. So in the problem itself they have given, in the program we are mentioning, listen, the value of p equal to 1 and the value of I equal to 0. Listen, the value of p is 1 and value of I is 0. So listen, so value of p is 1, leave all the things first. First you should listen the first row. Okay, first you listen the first row. First row alone, leave all the things. Okay, the value of p is given in 1 and the value of I they have given as 0. Understand? The same value, I and iterations are same. Okay, so the iterations also 0. Listen, so what you need to calculate? A power I. A power I. So in the question, listen, 2 comma 5. So 2 comma 5. So what's the value of a? 2 comma 5 means a comma I. A comma I. So what's the value of a now? 2. So what's the value of a now? 2. Now what's the value of I? 0. Understand? So what's the value of I now? 0. So 2 power 0 the value is? 2 power 0 the value is 1. So listen. 2 power 0 is 1. Next step. So first iteration over. Okay. So first iteration over. So the next value is 2. Listen. The value of first iteration, the value of 0. What's the next iteration? 1. Okay, what's the next iteration? 1. So first row over, no? 2 power 0. See, next the value of p is 2. Okay, so how you are getting means, see the next step. Next step, the value of iteration is 1. First you write the value of I as 1. Leave all the things. First row, understand? First initially they have given the value of p as 1 and the I as 0. Okay, so for you are calculating 2 power 0. Next time the iteration 0, I plus 1. Okay, I plus 1. Okay, so I plus 1 means, so 0 plus 1. What's the value 0 plus 1? 1. So here you need to write the answer as a 1. Understand? What's the value 0 plus 1? What's the answer? 1. Okay. Next, listen, 1 you are getting. Next, p into a. Okay, p into a. Initially, so what's the value of p? Like here. What's the value of p? 1. So 1 into what's the value of a? The value of a is always 2. Understand how you are getting? So the value of, understand how this answer is getting I and I plus 1. This is the first iteration. For example, first initially you are giving the value as a 0. Next time I plus 1. So 0 plus 1, the answer you are getting as a 1. So listen, here you are giving p into a. The first value is 1. So next value is what? 2. So p into a. What's the value of p now? So how you are getting this answer 2 means, listen. What's the value of p now? 1. And what's the value of a? 2. So 1 into 2, the answer is 2. Understand? So here you come. A power I. So 2 power 1. Then what answer you are getting? 2 power 1? 2. Isn't it? Next step. Listen. So here, what's the value of p now? 2. So what's the value of a now? 2 into 2, 4. Okay. Next step. Listen. What's the value of p now? 4. 4 into, what's the value of a? 4 into 2, 8. So next step. What's the value of p now? 8 into 2, 16. Likewise, so 8 into 2, 16. 16 into 2, 32. So the simplest way for your understanding I am telling. So if you feel tough to study like this means, so what simplest way to write, how I am explaining how you need to write in simplest way. So 2 power 5. So how many iterations it will come? 5 iterations. Okay, 2 power 5 means how many iterations it will come? 5 iterations. So iteration initially first you should write 0 to 5. This is the shortest way. Okay, so iteration first you should write 0 to 5. So here also iteration and I value become same, isn't it? So 0 to 5. Okay, so 2 columns over. Next, I plus 1. So always you should write I plus 1 initial value is 0, 0 plus 1, then 1 plus 1. Then, so likewise 0 plus 1, then 1 plus 1, then 2 plus, each time the value will get incremented with 1. So at last you will get the answer 4 plus 1, 5. So these two values needs to be same at the last. Understand the shortest way? Initially you have written the iteration. The I plus 1 means each time you need to add the value 1 to the value of I. So here 4 plus 1 will come. So you should listen, the last two values become same. Okay. So this row over, I row also over and I plus 1 also over. Okay. Next listen. The value of P. So initially they have given 1. In your question itself they are given. So next step, listen, always the value of A becomes 2 in the question. So 1 into 2, what answer you are getting? 2. So you need to write the answer as 2. Next, so next this 2 into 2, what answer you are getting? 4. You need to write the answer as 4. Next, 4 into 2, what answer you are getting? 8. Next, 8 into 2, what answer you are getting? 16. Likewise, 16 into 2, what answer you are getting? 32. So these two rows are also over. Next, at last you need to calculate the value of A power I. So what's the value of A now? Always the value of A is 2. So calculate 2 power 0, then 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, 2 power 5. Understand? So otherwise you will get confused only. I am telling to write this way. So at last you need to check. So in the algorithm, when we can say this algorithm is invariant, at the starting of the algorithm and the end of the algorithm, starting of the loop as well as the end of the loop, the answer becomes the same. Then we can say this algorithm is this loop is a loop invariant. So what's the starting of P into A? What's the value? 16 into 2, 32. Here, what's the output you are getting? So inputs you are giving P comma A. What's the input you are getting? 16 into 2, 32 you are getting. Here come. So what's the value? P equal to A power AI, isn't it? 2 power 5, the answer is 32. So here also you are getting the answer 32. Here also you are getting answer 32. So when we can say the loop is invariant, at the start of the loop P, here also the loop needs to be say the answer becomes same, and also the end output also you need to get the same answer 2 power 5, 32. Are you getting the answer 32 in both the sides? Yes. So now we can say this loop is a invariant. Understand? Understand? So just one time read this one. So normally we know 2 power 5 means the answer we are getting as 32 only. But this way only inside the system, this is the way how the computer will calculate the power. Okay. So just one time read it. So then only you can be able to understand. Read it. So have you read? Next. Okay, this chapter is fully like this only. That the problems are somewhat different. You need to think it and write. Then only you can able to write. Okay. So next problem, chocolate bar problem. So chocolate bar problem also already you have studied. Okay. So read the question. How many cuts are needed to break the bar into individual squares? Okay. For example, consider one cake is there or one chocolate is there. Okay. So first you are making a one cut. Before cutting, for example, initially a cake is there. For birthday you are going to celebrate. You are going to celebrate a birthday with a cake. So initially a cake is there. You are not going to cut initially. So initially how many pieces? The piece will be a 1. That means entire piece, full piece. Okay, that's the first piece. Now you are making a one cut. At that time, if you are making one cut, the pieces will get 2. Isn't it? If you are making a one cut means the cake is divided into 2 parts. So 2 pieces will be there. Likewise, in a question, they are asking how many cuts you need to make small individual squares. So what do you mean by individual squares? Small pieces. So birthday you will cut the cake, no? Cut the cake and you will make as a small pieces and you will distribute the cake to your relatives. Likewise, how many cuts are need to cut the cake into small pieces? That's the question. So here they are going to represent this problem by two variables. Okay, what are the variables? P and C. Okay, so P means they are representing the number of pieces. What's the variable P? P represents number of pieces and C represents number of cuts. Number of pieces, for example, if you are making a one cut means the pieces will be 2. If you are making 2 cuts means the pieces will be 4. Understand? So for that the pieces you are representing in a variable P and C represents the number of cuts. How many cuts you are going to cut. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the first point. You are going to represent two variables P and C. So P represents number of pieces and C represents number of cuts. So next point what they are telling me, whenever you made a cut, for that only first itself I said, first initially a cake is there, full piece of cake is there, you are not making a cut. At that time a piece becomes 1, that means a full piece. Next you are making a cut. So the pieces will be divided into 2. So whenever you are making a cut, the pieces will get increased by 1. Understand what they are mentioning? So whenever you are making a cut, the pieces will become increases by 1. Understand? So listen. So consider this is a piece. One full cake. Consider this is a piece. So initially how many pieces there? Only one piece. So now you are making a one cut. Okay. Now you are making a one cut. So listen. So now you are making a one cut. So how many pieces will be there? 1, 2. So whenever you made a cut, the pieces will get increases by 1. Initially without cut there is a full piece. Next you are making a one cut. So 2 pieces. Likewise next if you are made another one cut. So how many pieces will be there? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Understand? So whenever you made a cut, the pieces will get increases by 1. So for that, how they are modeling the algorithm means, listen. So P comma C, what do you mean by P? Number of pieces and C represents number of cuts. So P, that means whenever you are making a cut, the pieces will get increased with 1. That means first cut, C plus 1. First cut, the piece will get increased with 1. That means P plus 1. Then second cut, C plus 2. Second cut, the piece will get increased with 2. Understand? So listen, they are giving. So this one you are going to write in a loop. Okay. So let's read the point. We start with one piece. That means initially without any cut. That means full piece of cake is there. That is 0 cut. So how many pieces? Just a thing. So listen carefully. Then only you can able to understand. Listen. Just a thing. So initially you are not made any cut. You are not going to cut the cake. Initially how many pieces there? Entire piece is there. So piece becomes 1. Full cake. So you are not going to made a cut. So that you are not going to made a cut means the value of cut C is 0. Because now you are not cutting the cake, no. So if you cut the cake means only the value of C becomes increased with 1. Now initially you are not going to cut the cake. So the value of C becomes 0. But the piece becomes 1. That is entire piece. Understand? Yes. Next, n be the number of individual squares. What do you mean by n? Number of individual squares means small pieces. That is a n. That's the number of individual squares. Okay. So when this process becomes n's mean the number of pieces is equal to number of squares. Think. So small pieces you are cutting, no, that pieces is equal to number of squares. That means small square pieces you are cutting. The number of pieces is equal to number of p equal to n means the process will becomes n's. Understand? So now we are going to write this algorithm in a loop. So how many variables you are going to represent? 2. What are they? P and C. So the value of P is 1. Initially you are giving now the value of P, that means full cake. And the C you are not going to cut initially. So the value of C is 0. So P comma C is 1 comma 0. Okay. But next you are giving the condition, the number of pieces not equal to number of cuts. Just a thing. So initially you are not made a cut, but the piece becomes 1. Understand? Number of, you are not making a cut initially, but the piece becomes 1. Just a thing, whether the piece and number of cuts become same. Initially you are not cutting, but the piece becomes 1. The value of C is 0, but P is 1. But so when you are giving the condition, the P not equal to n, the number of pieces as well as the number of cuts need not to be a same. Okay, understand? Less. So, P comma C, how you are changing mean P plus 1. When you made the cut, that is cut is increased with 1 means the value of P also increased with 1. So, if you are making a 1 cut means the pieces will get increased with 1. If you are making a 2 cuts means the pieces will get increased with 2. Understand? Now we are going to find P minus E is a invariant or not. So already in last chapter we have studied the P minus E is a invariant or not. So you have studied, no? Yeah. Here in a loop we are going to find whether this is a loop invariant or not. Okay. So for that they are writing P comma C. What's the thing? P comma C means P plus 1 comma C plus 1. So likewise, they are giving P minus E is a constant. They asked you to prove P minus E is a invariant. So you are giving P minus E equal to K. K is a one constant value. Understand? So now we are going to write that one as a algorithm. Okay. So what's the initial value for P and C? Initial value of P is 1 and C is 0. That means full piece of cake is there. You are not going to cut the cake. So the value of C is 0. Next, first step. So this is the input they are giving. Now what they have given? P minus C equal to K. Constant. One constant value they have given. What's the value of, what do you mean by K? K is a one constant value. They asked to prove P minus C is a invariant. So P minus C equal to K. One constant value they have given. Next, in what condition they have given? The number of cuts as well as number of pieces need not to be a same. So P not equal to N. So P not equal to N. So if it is true means again the value P minus C equal to K constant. Understand? Next, listen. If the pieces and number of cuts is not same means P comma C. Listen. When the cuts becomes increased with 1, the pieces will also get increased with 1. That is C plus 1 will get, if the first cut, the pieces will get increased with 1. Second cut 2. At that time also a one constant value you will get. That means first cut you will get 2 pieces. Then second cut you will get 4 pieces. So the constant value is first 2. Then 4. Likewise it will get increase. Okay. When it becomes true, when this P minus C and when the number of pieces and number of cuts become same, you can say this algorithm or this is a loop invariant. And so when we can say whether this P equal to N, but initially we are giving the condition P not equal to N. So it will execute till the P not equal to N. When the condition becomes false, so you can say the value when the condition becomes false, P not equal to N, we can say this P minus C equal to K. Understand? So it will execute till P not equal to N. That means number of pieces and number of cuts will not be same, but if the number of pieces and number of cuts become same, we can say P minus C equal to K is an invariant. Understand? So here they are giving, so at the starting of the loop, we can say P minus C on constant value 1. Therefore, what's the constant value for K? P minus C equal to 1 means the constant K is also a 1. Okay, so we can say the P minus C equal to 1. Understand? So same thing they are given in flowchart. So listen. So flowchart, what are the input variables we are giving? 2 variables. What are the variables? P and C. So P comma C. Initially, we are full entire piece. You are not going to make a cut, so 0. Okay. At that time also you are getting a one constant value. So P minus A equal to K. So that's the starting of, this is the start of the loop. What condition you are giving? P not equal to N. The pieces and number of cuts, if not equal means, next also you are getting the value P minus equal to one constant. If this is not means, so P comma C, how it is changing the value of the number of cut is increased with 1. At that time number of pieces also will get increased with 1. So till this, see this arrow, till it will execute, this condition becomes true. That means this is first iteration, second iteration and third iteration. When it will come outside of the loop, when the condition falls, P equal to N. Okay, when the condition falls, so it will come outside of the loop and it will display the value P comma C. But till the value P minus C equal to K as a constant. Understand? So already we have studied when we can say the loop invariant means it should be true at 4 points. What are the points? Start of the loop, start of the iteration, end of the iteration as well as end of the. See, all the places the P minus C equal to K becomes true. So now we can see this loop is an invariant. Understand? So listen. So here they asked to find whether this is a loop invariant or not. Just think. So whether you will get the answer number of pieces and number of cuts becomes same. P equal to N. For that only initially I said one full piece is there. So the piece value is 1. We are not going to cut. C value is 0. So whether the number of pieces and cuts will get same? No. So for that they are giving, so this condition is true till P minus C equal to 1. When it will get false, P equal to N, the value P and N is same means the condition becomes false. So listen how they are going to calculate mean. So P minus C equal to 1. So it is true till P minus C equal to 1. That means pieces and cuts become, not become, say the pieces become 1 and cuts become 0. So P minus C equal to 1. So we can say P minus C is loop 1 as a loop invariant. At the end of the loop, so it will execute till P not equal to N, isn't it? Sometime P equal to N means, so P equal to N, the loop will get N, isn't it? So this P minus C equal to 1 execute till the P not equal to N. If P equal to N means that we can say that's the end of the loop. So listen, so from here this 2 you can combine these two equations and write the value of, substitute the value of P is N, isn't it? So substitute the value of P equal to N in the first thing, first equation. So value of P is N means N minus C equal to 1. Okay, then so bring the C to this side. So N minus 1 equal to Z, C equal to N minus 1. So what answer you are getting? Always the number of cuts will get one number less than number of pieces or number of square. Okay, always you will get the number of pieces will get reduced with the number of cuts. Understand? Understand or not? Okay. So 2 examples we have studied. Now we are going to study about third example. Okay. So listen. So here, listen carefully. Third example. So here there are 6 trees are there. How many trees are there? 6 trees are there. Okay. So these 6 trees are equally spaced. That means one tree is equally spaced with the next tree. Likewise, 6 trees are equally spaced. Okay. Listen. Then 6 sparrows are sitting on these trees. Among any one of the tree, the sparrows will be sit. Okay. First tree, one sparrow will sit. Then second tree, second. Likewise, each sparrows are sitting in some trees. But here they are giving one sparrow is sitting on each tree. So how many trees are there? Totally 6 trees. So 6 sparrows are sitting in 6 trees. So what's the initial question what they are giving? Totally 6 trees are there. So 6 trees are equally spaced among each other. And also 6 sparrows are sitting in 6 trees. Okay, that's the first thing. Then next they are giving if one sparrow flies from one tree to the another tree. Okay, initially all the sparrows are sitting in one tree, each tree. Initially, the next step, the one sparrow is flying from one tree to the next tree. At the same time, the another one sparrow is flying from one tree to another tree in opposite direction. Understand? Listen carefully. There are 6 trees are there. So among these 6 trees, one sparrow is flying to one direction and next sparrow is flying to opposite direction. Okay. So consider, likewise, this is a 6 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees are there. So 6 trees, one sparrow. Each tree, one sparrow will be there. So what they have given means, at a time, a sparrow from first tree, consider, first tree is flying to next tree, this direction. Another one sparrow is flying from this tree to opposite direction. Understand? This is the question they have given. What question they asked me? If all the sparrows can able to gather in one tree. Whether all the sparrows can gather in one tree or not. Okay. So listen. Here they are giving each trees, they have indexed the numbers from 1 to 6. Total how many trees are there? 6. So first tree number index is 1. Second tree index is 2. Third tree. Likewise 6 trees, the index numbers they are given from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then So indexes of the sparrow, how they are giving means in which tree they are sitting, currently in which tree they are sitting, that is the index of the sparrows. For example, now the sparrow is sitting second tree means the index of the sparrow is 2. Sitting in third tree means the index of the sparrow is 3. Understand? So here they are telling a pair of sparrows flying can be modeled as a iterative. A pair of sparrows are flying. That one we are going to write in a loop. Listen carefully. First we have studied in question they have given one sparrow is flying to another tree in one sparrow is flying to another tree in one direction. Another one sparrow is flying to another tree in opposite direction. So listen. So the index is given. For example, first sparrow, listen. Each trees are equally spaced at a distance d. D is the distance. So first sparrow is flying to next tree with the distance d. Next tree. So I plus d. Okay. Next another one sparrow is flying to opposite direction. So that we are giving j minus d. First sparrow index is I. Second one is j. So first is this one is correct direction. So I plus d. This is opposite direction. So you are giving minus d. Now you are going to calculate the sum of the indices of all the sparrow. Okay. So how you are going to calculate the sum means totally how many trees are there? 6. How many sparrows are there? 6. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, 6. Totally 21. Okay. What's the question they have asked? At last all the sparrows need to be gathered in the same tree. So at last you need to prove S equal to 6k. Some constant. At last the sum of all the sparrows need to gather in one tree. So you need to prove S equal to 6k. So first you will get the value S equal to 21. So at the start of the loop, what's the value? S equal to 21. At the final, what you need to get? S equal to 6k. So substitute here 6k equal to 21. So compare to this equations. So initially, what condition the value you are getting is equal to 21 at the start of the loop. At final, you need to get the value is equal to 6k. So listen, substitute both the values is equal to 21. So 6k equal to 21. So, so what's the value of k? K equal to 21 by 6. But the 21 you can divide it by 6? No. So 21 you can't able to divide it with 6. So you can say that all the sparrows can't able to gather in the one tree. Understand? So we can say, so this problem is not a invariant. Understand? So today, okay, time over students. Today you can study 3 examples. You have studied power, compute the calculating power as well as then a number of pieces as well as number of cuts of the cake, then sparrows. Okay. So after completion of this session, please study these 3 examples. Okay. This is a homework for you. Thank you students. Remain, you can continue in the next class. Thank you.